happy with that. And then we will be setting the scene, and setting the scene will happen by Dr. Kwakun Pijachomwan, the Deputy Executive Director of Biotech and NSTDA, and Mr. Hans van den Born, who's the Executive Director of the Netherlands Thai Chamber of Commerce. So happy to have you with us. We'll have plenty of time for the Q&A. After that, Dr. Kwakun Pijachomwan will have to leave. So use that opportunity to know more and ask her everything you ever wanted to know about the biocircular green economy, please. After this setting the scene, we'll go in the second part, next slide, which is basically a deep dive into opportunities. Next slide, please. And what will happen is that first Mr. Rick Passanier, Director at Pace Business Partners, will give an overview, an umbrella view of the strategies, opportunities, but also the challenges in this field. And then we'll have not one, not two, but 5 deep dives, little pitches, entrepreneurs of, let's say, the bioeconomy in action. Mr. Sander van der Linden of Corbion, Mr. Luc Rietveld of APAC, Harvest Waste, Mr. Jeremy Timber, founder of Infinergy, Ms. Savita Tinsung-Tisuk, Secretary Waste to Energy Trade Association, and Ms. Lien W, Chief Marketing Officer of Biomed, the BioHub Asia. So wonderful opportunities, short pitches, lots of interaction between Dutch and Thai speakers. But without much further ado, let's just listen to the video of the Dutch ambassador. I wish you lots of success this webinar. We do not hear sound. Can we restart the video with sound?
Can you confirm him is now?
It's now press play.
Goedemorgen deelnemers in Nederland. Good afternoon to the participants here in Thailand. My name is Remco Verwijngaarden, Ambassador of the Kingdom of the Netherlands in Thailand. On behalf of the Embassy, I'm very pleased to co-organize this session with Holland Circular Hotspot and the Netherlands Thai Chamber of Commerce. The topic today is very, very relevant to all of us. Our world is facing complex social and environmental challenges. The way we deal with our resources will determine our future and those of generations to come. The Netherlands strongly believes that the transition to an inclusive circular economy is part of the solution. And to do so, we cannot act alone. We are reaching out for partners around the globe. Thailand and the Netherlands have a mutual interest in remaining close allies in various aspects. In particular, bioeconomy deserves extra attention. As we are both world-leading producers of agricultural products, we have ground for the transition to a bio-based economy. Thailand's biocircular green model, BCG, which you will hear more from Thai experts, aligns well with the Netherlands strategy to aim for an advanced bio-based economy. Thanks to a strong partnership between industry, government and universities, work is already happening on a large scale in the Netherlands. We are also committed to international cooperation that will create long-term positive impact on this transition and that will simultaneously benefit the local economy. In addition to government collaboration, Dutch companies, knowledge institutes, and NGOs work together with partners abroad to develop and adapt innovative technologies to local conditions, create sustainable new business models, identify circular opportunities, and exchange knowledge. Today, you will hear a concrete set of examples. At the same time, much progress is being made in Thailand. Let me thank the speakers from Thailand for sharing that information with us and their best practices. I hope the webinar will help connect the dots and will lead to more collaboration. Together, we can turn today's challenges into economic opportunities. So let's seize this opportunity to partner up and make a shift in our bioeconomy transition. Thank you.
So that was wonderful. Thank you, Your Excellency. It's a warm introduction for our session, and let's not wait any longer. Let us set the scene about the activities. And the first speaker is from Biotech and NSTDA. So it's with great pleasure that I give the floor to our first speaker, Dr. Kwakun Pejachomwan.
Thank you for your
I'm sorry for
introduction.
your name. It's so difficult for me.
No problem. And good morning for all participants from Netherlands, and good afternoon for all colleagues from Thailand. Today, it is my honor to share with you all about the current status and outlook about bioeconomy in Thailand. So let me start briefly introduce about BCG. So next slide, please. Bioeconomy, of course, is one component of BCG economic model, or bio-circular green economic model, which has been introduced and promoted by Thai government as a new economic model for inclusive and sustainable growth. BCG model tries to capitalize the country's strength in terms of biological diversity and cultural richness, and employs technology and innovation to transform Thailand to a value-based and innovation-driven economy. The model also conforms well with the UN Sustainable Development Goals, or SDG, as well as intend to align with the sufficiency economic philosophy by our Raman IX King. So bioeconomy involve the production of renewable biological resources and the conversion of these resources into value-added products, while circular economy aims to reusing and recycling resources, and green economy determines to keep economy, society, and the environment in balance, leading to sustainable development. Based on Thailand's strength in agricultural activity, rich in natural resources and diversity in terms of both biological resources and physical geography, BCG model is applied to focus on promoting for the industry of 4 areas, which are food and agriculture, medical and wellness, energy and material, and biochemicals. Last but not least, tourism and creative economy. Next slide, please. Okay, so let me briefly introduce the concept of value creation for each sector. For food and agriculture, the value of this sector can be multiplied with product diversification, high value and premium quality products and service, waste reduction and valorization, resource and land use efficiency, as well as smart farming for agricultural sectors. For medical and wellness, the strategy includes intensive capacity building in technology and human capital in R&D and production technology for vaccines, biopharmaceuticals, medical device, as well as the policy of promoting preventive medicine and precision medicine. For bioenergy, biomaterials, and biochemical, this sector has high potential growth due to the government policy setting a renewable energy target for 30% of total final energy consumption by 2036. Furthermore, the cutting-edge technology will be developed and employed to convert biomass and agricultural products to high-value commodity such as bioplastic, fibers, biochemicals, and biospecialties, bio-based products. Last but not least, for tourism and creative economy, for Thai tourism industry can benefit from the policy to promote secondary cities and commodity as a new tourist destination. And technology and innovation will be applied to create and upgrade infrastructure and digital platform to improve tourist convenience and experience and advance the industry to high quality tourism. Under the creative economy concept, tourism can be linked to other service industry to target niche markets such as wellness tourism, culinary tourism, ecotourism, cultural tourism, and spa tourism. So let me move to the next slide to inform you about a strategy plan of BCG action plan by the government. There are 4 of them. The first strategy is about promoting sustainability of biological resources through balancing conservation and utilization. The second strategy is to strengthen communities and grassroots economy by employing resource capital, creativity, technology, biodiversity, and cultural diversity to create value to product and services. The third one is for upgrade and promote sustainable competitiveness of Thai BCG industry with knowledge, technology, and innovation, focusing on green technology. Last, building resilience to global changes. So those are 4 key strategies under BCG action plans. Next slide, please. In addition, the government have made it down into 13 mechanisms to drive BCG policy. So I will not go through all 13 mechanisms, but I just highlight the one which is build a bio-based economy, which is what we would like to learn more for today. So let me move to the next slide. Thailand is rich in natural resources, as I already described previously, with high biodiversity, in particular microorganisms. We are one of the world's biggest exporter of agricultural products such as rice, sugarcane, cassava, palm oil, fruit and vegetable. However, most products are exported as commodity or primarily processed product, which their price tend to reduce. In addition, more than 40 million tons per year of biomass from agricultural and agro-industrial sector has been left abundantly. So this implies a huge opportunity to turn waste to wealth using innovative technology. So next slide, please. So in 2018, the government by Ministry of Industry, not Ministry of Commerce, apologize for my mistake. Ministry of Industry has launched the BioPlan measures as a 10-year national plan to promote bio-based industry or bio-based economy with the vision that Thailand will be a bio-hub of ASEAN in 2027. Next slide, please. To drive that mission, there are 4 important measures. I will not go in details, but just to give you some idea about those 4 measures. The first one, measure to remove investment barriers, such as Act Amendment. Second one, measures to accelerate domestic investment in the 3 key areas. You may hear about Northern Economic Corridor, Northeastern Economic Corridor, and Eastern Economic Corridor. The third one, measures to stimulate demand in domestic market by creating awareness and promoting capacity building and training in manufacturing sectors. Last but not least, measure to foster network in the form of a center of bioexcellence that include R&D, prototype scale-up, and human resource development. So on the right-hand side, you will see those economic corridor with a list of products that plans to be invested in those economic corridors. Next slide, please. So let me share with you in terms of the last measure that I already mentioned is about R&D and scale up. So currently, Ministry of Higher Education, Science, Research and Innovation has invested in R&D infrastructure for technology development at EECI or Eastern Economic Corridor of Innovation. EECI is an ecosystem to translate research and innovation into sustainable regional economic development and societal well-being. At EECI, there are several service infrastructure that you can see on the list to promote the development of modern agriculture and bio-based industry. Next slide, please. For modern agriculture, there are phenomic greenhouse, which is a large scale facility to study plant physiology when exposed to various growth conditions. And move to the middle one is the plant factory, which is closed and controllable system to produce high-value plants such as medicinal herbs. And another infrastructure is biorefinery pilot plant, consists of two main buildings. One is bioprocess scale-up facility using microbial fermentation and enzyme reaction to convert agricultural products to high-value products that can be used in many applications, such as foods, cosmeceutical, and pharmaceutical industry. And the other building is for downstream process, a scale-up facility for purification, refining of those products in bioreactor after fermentation. Next slide, please. The pilot plant is multi-purpose, generic and open platform for scale-up and economic feasible study. Multi-purpose indicate that different type of feedstock on your left-hand side can be applied into this pilot plant. And of course, different bio-based product can be tested and produced in this pilot plant. Under the professional management as a joint venture company with European partner, which is bio-based Europe pilot plant. In addition, proprietary technology provider can be under the same roof to facilitate the customer as a one-stop shop. So next slide, please. So in addition to a success development of biofuel industry in Thailand, here are more examples of bioindustry being developed currently in Thailand, including biomaterials such as PLA from Corbion and Purelac. Of course, this is a Dutch company. Biochemicals such as bioepichlorohydrin and functional ingredients such as fructooligosaccharides or FROS from huge sugar company from Thailand. So we believe that there will be many more in near future as bioeconomy is driven by the strong support from Thai government and the need for society for sustainable development. So I think that is a short introduction from BCG in action. Thank you for your attention. Next slide for QR code in case that you would like to, get more information. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, thank you so much for this comprehensive presentation. It's very clear, a very good overview of what's happening. I have for sure a couple of questions for you, but
please.
I will do that after the presentation of Mr. Hans van den Born, and I invite all the other panelists and speakers to ask questions for you because we know you will have to leave. So if there's a question for you and your work, then this is the moment to, let's say, write it down in the Q&A. Thank you so much. We'll continue with our program with Mr. Hans van den Born. He's the Executive Director of the Netherlands Thai Chamber of Commerce. Hans, you live in the region also for quite some time. Can you give an introduction from your side, please?
Of course, Frank. Thank you very much, and nice to see a large audience today. And good morning, good welcome wherever you are in the world. I'll use 1 minute only about what NTCC does and what organization we are. It's a membership-driven organization existing for over 31 years, actually, growing especially this year. And what we are seeing from the demand and also the interest from particularly the Netherlands is in the BCG sector. We do see initiatives, we do see a lot of companies active or reaching out for information. And I'm very pleased that if I look at the attendance, half of them already are member of NTCC. And we also have in the panel discussion later on, you will hear live examples of companies, especially the last one who's launching a new initiative, but I won't spoil that yet. It's great to see so many people participating in this sector. We do follow exactly what Dr. Kuakon is saying. We do collaborate with NSTDA. We collaborate under the BCG sector initiated by the Thai government already many years ago. And since our office is also in the Dutch government environment of the embassy, we collaborate a lot together with the Dutch government. So their top sector is actually one of these, as Ambassador rightly said. Can I see the next slide, please? Because what do we do as NTCC? In principle, we collectively try to get information to the right audience. We also help startup companies if they want to know to do business in this part of the world, not only particular Thailand, but also in our region. So we collaborate a lot with similar Dutch Chamber Network colleagues in this region of ASEAN, mostly ASEAN 5. It's about sharing knowledge, it's about opening up the network, preventing errors who have been made in the past, and a thriving business community. Like I said, we're growing again to more than 300 members by next month. Next slide, please. Just to share with you what are the examples of activities we have been doing in the past few years under this particular topic. We organize throughout the country, whether you're in Chiang Mai or in the south in Phuket or the EEC, or in Bangkok, quite some activities, some large-scale activities. We collaborate, as you can see, with the main Thai semi-government agencies, DIPA, EEC, and also Board of Trade and the Board of Thailand. This was the last version we have done, was a 2-day webinar, seminar, and physical event where we collaborated also. We actually were the first group to be inside the EECI, with Dr. Kuan Kon just mentioned. So we were allowed to have a sneak peek of the official building, which just opened up this month, but we were there already in September. We also had presentations by the University of FISTEC. And if there's one university in Thailand at high level in this country, I can highly recommend that university. FISTEC, I think, in my humble opinion, is really the #1 in this particular sector. So lots is coming there. Next slide, please, which will give you some images of what we do. So this is inside the EECI at FISTEC University. So where we share knowledge, where we have external speakers, where we had the Joint Foreign Chamber joining us. So this is not only a Dutch typical Netherlands thing, this is an international business community building, and where we collaborate also with our fellow colleagues from the German or the French or the American Chambers of Commerce. But we do share from, let's say, Dutch perspective, opportunities of collaboration, and also sometimes eye-opening initiatives, which we have learned from collaborating with, let's say, Wageningen University, amongst others. Next slide, please. So this is one of the events we do in every month, September. In October, every year, we organize the Sustainability for Business Forum. This particular series, we collaborate together with the French and also the Swedish Chamber. This is, again, for companies to learn from existing models, to open up their eyes about what's happening in the world and how you as a company need to adapt yourself into the changing environment. Just had a lunch meeting just now with one of the largest Thai companies, SCG. They just recently bought 2 Dutch companies, and they need to prepare themselves, and they're rightly prepared already. But what is happening under the ESG framework, and what kind of sustainability index you have to write nowadays? Europe is very well advanced, even more advanced than the USA. So these are topics close to our heart. And as you can see from all the companies we managed to collaborate with, it is a really international collaboration of showcasing what we can offer. Next slide, a few items, a few pictures again of these particular events. You also see that the new governor of Bangkok very much switched on, very much engaged, very much also interested in learning and sharing and making our city where we live with another 10 million people a better livable city. So these are just some examples. Next slide, please. This is also something we do collaborate with our partners. Like I said, we do that in collaboration with the other 5 chamber colleagues around the region. So again, we are not only looking and focusing on Thailand. Sometimes for a Dutch company, Malaysia might be the best interest, or Vietnam might be the best country. So this is an example within this particular sector, how we collaborate. And we do that together with our network partner, NL in Business. NL in Business is an organization which started 4.5 years. We were the 2nd chamber in the world to be accredited according to their standards. So we do collaborate amongst each other. And I have about 20 colleagues around the world where we drive these kind of topics. And I remember, Freek, we had our first close encounter already 5-6 years ago when you were in Thailand. So there's a lot of synergy going on, and we try to support wherever we can this public-private partnership. Next, and I guess last slide. If you would like to know a little bit more what we can do, what we can offer you, please reach out to us. We're always here to assist and be helpful to companies who want to venture out to this part of the world. And I can only say you're most welcome, because this is the place where things are happening faster than sometimes you might imagine. And opportunities are here, at the same time also challenges. And those challenges we try to prevent you from taking place. Thank you very much for the few minutes I was given, and more happy than to answer any questions later on. Thank you. Have a lovely webinar.
Thank you so much, Hans. It's a pleasure hearing you speak about the Netherlands, and indeed you also stress this collaborative nature of the Netherlands, public and private collaboration, but also collaborating with other countries. And you know, in circular economy, sometimes say circular economy is not about copyright; it's about the right to copy. And if you see at the magnitude of the challenges we have for the bioeconomy for the future, I think we need all hands on deck. And if two front runners, Thailand and Netherlands, can help, that would be wonderful. Dear audience, this is the moment for questions to our honorable speakers. So I invite you, please, to post your question in the chat box. I know we have some of the best knowledge institutes in the room. We have waste managers in the room who have their feet in the clay, as we say in Dutch. So please ask all these questions. And to warm up the speakers, I have the first questions. Dr. Kwakun, you spoke about the strategy. Can you tell something about the ambitions in various fields? If I look at waste management, that's something you can start at short notice, but if you want to go towards the world of the chemistry, if you want to link it with the world of agri-food, that's changing a mammoth tanker. Of course, it goes slowly. Startups can take 6 years, 8 years maybe, and the chemical industry can maybe take 10, 15 years. How do you see the developments in time? What's the lowest hanging fruit where we can start now, and how will that develop over time?
Well, actually, that's a good question, because you know, shifting that sometimes it requires time. So for low-hanging fruit, I will say that Thailand has a strength. We do not start from zero. You know, we have already built some capacity, but we have to shift from those petroleums to, you know, to bio-based. And of course, we generate a lot of waste. And by combining our strength and our resource, I think there is opportunity that we can, you know, find out some of those, you know, low-hanging fruit that we can launch it as the commercial one. Like I mentioned, we are quite success for those biofuel and bioenergy, those renewable energy, and we need to move further than that. So I still see a lot of opportunity for us to continue and move forward.
Thank you so much. Hans, do you want to comment on that as well? And maybe why you commented is a follow-up question for you as well. There's Dutch interest for Thailand for sure. We have seen that amongst other with Corbion. How do people look at the market? Is it interest local for local, that you go to Thailand to invest for Southeast Asia? Or is it also investing for the global market? Is there anything you want to comment on?
I think what I notice is that, at least from the files and the companies who are on let's say, our radar, is that they're mostly interested in also the local, the Thai market and the surrounding countries. It's no secret that between Thailand and the Netherlands, there's no free trade agreement, and it probably will take quite some years. But once you establish your company within a country like Thailand, and you have the hinterlands and you have all these surrounding countries where you can benefit on the free trade agreements amongst the Asian nations, then you have a very strong case. I sometimes compare Thailand with the Netherlands, where we have the infrastructure, same like in the Netherlands, but we have a lot of dealings with Germany, France, Belgium, and other countries. We see that Thailand is also putting itself in that particular regional role. And I think that's especially for this BCG model, which is so much advocated also by the Thai government, where I think the most attention and attraction is taking place.
Thank you, Hans, for that clear answer. Dr. Kwakun, last question from me to you. If you can make one appeal to the Dutch knowledge community who is listening in which field do you see collaboration? Where would you like to collaborate further with the Dutch? Which fields there is a direct momentum at this time?
Well, actually, for me, I think we can see a lot of opportunity for collaboration, starting from things like, you know, R&D activities up to commercial one or business one. And I think that is not new for us. we already have those kind of collaboration between Thai and Dutch. So I think we can continue that and then focus on, strength of Thai partners and also from Dutch partners. And collaboration cannot be limited to only, R&D or academic one, but of course, like I mentioned, Corbin is a good one that we can see that, we can build a facility or in the plant to produce those bioplastic in our country, where we have a list of feedstock, and then Dutch has a good innovative technology. So that a good collaboration and combination between Thai and Dutch.
Thank you very much. I see another question from Caroli Buitenhuis, but I will park that or ask Hans to answer that in the chat box. For this, the time is, let's say, killing us. We have to move on with the program. Dr. Kwakun, thank you so much for your wise words, and we know you have to move on. It was an honor to have you in our program.
Thank you so much.
So this was the warming up, setting the scene. Now let's go and look at the opportunities and some best practices. And the first speaker we have is Mr. Rick Passenier, who helped us also in writing a country report on Thai circular economy opportunities. Rick, we are dying to know more about opportunities and challenges in this field. Can I give the floor to you, please?
Yes, of course. Thank you, Freek. So my name is Rick. I'm working in Thailand for more than 7-8 years now, and I've been working also with the Netherlands Embassy in Thailand, as well as with local companies and organizations. Next slide, please. And I would like to give a brief introduction on some opportunities and challenges in this interesting bio and circular economy field. So as Dr. Kwakun already mentioned, we have the 4 pillars in the sectors where the BCG economy applies to. And here you see the 2 of them that are in focus, of course, for today: food and agriculture, energy, material, and biochemical. And each of these pillars offers a realm of opportunities from beginning of life to all the way to end of life. Next slide, please. And many times when industries and economies are transitioning from a linear to a circular economy, basically waste management is the gateway to this circular economy, right? And I think this is the case in many cases for Thailand as well. So what you see here is that there's more than 2,000 waste management sites across Thailand, of which all the red ones that you see on the picture here are unacceptable operations. And these are data from the Pollution Control Department 2019. And you also see in the pie chart there that more than 2,000 sites here are open dumping sites, which of course offers a huge opportunity for ready-to-go remediation opportunities of waste, but also waste collection, sorting, and of course creating that into high-value either energy solutions or materials solutions. Next slide, please. And also there, what is very striking but not very surprising is that, of course, within the waste management municipal solid waste situation, like in many other places, around 50% is bio-related waste, right? And here it's even more because there's also wood and agricultural residues as well. But you see the big blue chunk, which is, of course, kitchen waste. And also there, of course, you see a lot in plastic and foams waste, polystyrene, all these kind of solutions from to-go packaging, for example, are also a very big issue. So you see here that from the end of life waste management side, there's quite a strong need for professional solutions that can work either on a very big scale, for example, for regions like Bangkok municipal area, but also of course, Thailand is a country with a lot of localized communities that are operating much more, let's say, off the central grid, such as island communities, etc. Next slide, please. So on the other side, we have, like Dr. Kwakun already mentioned, huge bio-based feedstock opportunities. And here you see some 2020 data from Nova Institute that did a study on the Thailand biomass situation, where you can see that sugarcane is the biggest, both the export biomass, but also used a lot for domestic consumption, for ethanol production, for sugar and all sorts of food products, of course. You see rice, palm oil, cassava, and rubbers that all, if they are not converted in food or just commodities, can of course be converted with biotechnology into high value chemicals, energy, materials, etc. Next slide, please. So in 2019, we started a program together with Nexpo, which is one of the policy organizations under the Ministry of Higher Education, and a local university, Chulalongkorn University, where we have mapped in a variety of sectors. We have mapped options to implement technologies or solutions that relate to the BCG economy. That are either already present outside of Thailand or could be developed inside of Thailand. And we've also looked at the synergy potential between industries. So here you see on the left circle, the food and agriculture production industry with the existing linear value chain. And we have mapped the synergy potential within these industries, but also with the other manufacturing industries on the right circle that you can see here. Next slide, please. So we mapped the potential for implementing technology that, for example, would already exist in the Netherlands or in other countries for, let's say, technology transfers and collaborations. Next slide there, please. And we see that in different sector, there's all sorts of opportunities for development, adoption, and technology transfer. Next slide. So, for example, of course, we have on the cross sector of industries, we have waste management solutions. Next slide. We have in the industry, we have food and agriculture solutions. So, for example, protein transition is also something which is really important. Then in the manufacturing industry, we talk about chemicals, materials, energy, and fuels. And then lastly, we have in the middle, next slide, we have the biorefinery and bioprocessing solutions. So these could be infrastructural developments that could really enable this triangle of development. Next slide, please. So I would just also like to mention a few examples that are actually being developed in Thailand, because there's actually a lot of knowledge that is, and also practical solution that is being developed in Thailand that could also benefit a lot of Dutch people or companies as well. So for example, this is a very popular solution that is using natural plant fiber products to create sustainable packaging solutions called Grace. Next slide. Here we see one of the examples of the transition from commodity food products, from starch products, to moving that into bioplastics for agricultural solutions, for packaging solutions, etc. So this is a thermoplastic starch company. Next slide. And also here you see a very practical example of a company, actually a startup company that is working on the protein transition. So they are using bugs and insects to create protein that eats off food waste, for example, and they create that into high value proteins that is being incorporated in noodles, in pastas, etc., but also as snacks in restaurants. Next slide. And here this, Dr. Kwakun already mentioned the biorefinery pilot plant. So I'll just skip that for now. Next slide. And also in the chemicals and the biofuel sector, there's a lot of potential in development. So here you see an image from BBGI, which is a large integrated ethanol producing company. And they also have now committed to driving sustainable aviation fuel from, in this case, cooking oils. Next slide, please. Yeah, next slide. Yeah, so we see the, if we go back to the pyramids of the BCG economy, then for each of these pillars, there are actually quite well developed roadmaps and plans with a lot of detail there that already provide opportunities. And I recommend that you also have a look at these documents further. So you can read here further about the biorefinery concept that are in scope, for example, creating the bio-based chemical building blocks. And for example, the high value food ingredients such as animal feed, nutrient recovery from all sorts of processes, but also, for example, these insect-based protein sources. Next slide. And then on the energy materials and biochemicals, of course, the biomaterials from sugarcane, cassava, tapioca like PLA, TPS, biofuels, bio-oils, biogases, biochars, all sort of variety of energy carriers. And then, of course, all sorts of products and applications based on natural fibers, packaging, and also things like plant-based leather substitute, for example, from pineapple and all sorts of other coconut residues as well. Next slide. Then we have quite interesting things, for example, published by regulators that actually stimulate the adoption of the BCG economy. And this is just a snapshot of the BOI, the Thailand Board of Investment, that has actually specified very specifically in the pillars that they are looking at, what sort of technology they're looking for, and then also the corporate index exemptions that also relate to that. So here you see, for example, waste treatment, R&D, etc. And then just to round off the opportunities and the challenges that we foresee in Thailand. Next slide, please. Yeah, so challenges for adoption. We see still regulatory barriers in all sorts of directions. There's still laws that, for example, prevent the usage of recycled plastics for certain applications. There are import restrictions for waste classified products, which make closing the loop for certain sectors a bit complicated. Financing is always a challenge with, let's say, very low rates that are being charged for municipal solid waste collection. There are no significant EPR schemes at the moment, although they are in development. And also still in Thailand, if you would like to engage with the industry, you also deal with the informal industry that you have to take along, which also has certain priorities on only, for example, collecting certain product streams. And then, of course, there are at the moment quite little incentives for pollution prevention at the source. Then the very last slide on opportunities. Yeah, we see a very strong corporate and academic engagement. So already Hans also mentioned it, strong universities, strong R&D ecosystem with, for example, NSTDA, Thailand Food, Innopolis, etc. But for example, there are more than 4,000 plastics converters in Thailand. So there's a big ecosystem in driving also innovations further. And also there are leading multinationals and innovative startups that are really engaged in this transition. So that's really positive. Then, of course, the governmental support, like I already gave an example, with the regulatory sandboxes, innovation partnerships, but also very well established ties with also NTCC, but also the Netherlands Embassy. And there are also mission-based networks that you can apply for, such as circular economy in construction industry, the PPP plastics, but also, for example, Circo has a hub already in Thailand. So these are all opportunities to get started with the BCD transition.
Wonderful, Rick. Thank you so much. You have clearly shown us the interconnectedness of the topic. It's about food, it's about waste, it's about materials, energy, chemicals. So I would say this is not something that one can do easily alone. This asks for probably multi-sector, cross-sectoral, but also collaboration between nations. Very good that you also had an overview of the barriers and incentives and the challenges. I hope we will get a few questions on that topic as well. Time is relentless. We'll quickly continue with a few pitches, and if there are questions later for you, you will sure to get them. The first speaker is Mr. Sander van der Linden, and he's definitely active in Thailand. He's the president of Corbion Purak. Sander, can I give the floor to you, please?
Yes, of course. Let me see where the slides can be presented. So my name is Sander van der Linden. I'm the VP of Operations for Corbion in Thailand, and already more than 12 years working here with a lot of pleasure. We can go to the next slide. I will tell. So Corbion is a company. Let me see how long it takes before. So Corbion is a company, a global company, Dutch company, about $1 billion turnover. This year, I think we will grow to about 1.4. We have manufacturing all over the world, and we are active in bio-based products. Our sustainability goals. We can go to the next slide. In the meantime, I know it will take a little bit of time. Our SDG goals, where we are committed to, is 3: the preserving food and food production, preserving health, and preserving the planet. And to build on that last one immediately, on all of them, in fact, that we in November as Corbion, we also committed to support our business, to support the global warming, to go to the 1.5 degrees Celsius, and that will have implications for us. It will put the bar higher, but we are committed to do this, and in that way support our SDG goals. So we can go to the next slide. So if I go to the last one, preserving the planet, I think you are all aware that plastics most of them are oil-based. 90% of it is the feedstock is oil, and therefore it's using 4 to 8% of the total oil production in the world on a yearly basis. And since it's finite, we need to find their solutions. And bioplastics are there a good way to decouple plastics from fossil feedstocks. We can go to the next slide. And in this way, Corbion also decided to go into PLA production. PLA is a polymer based on our lactic acid molecule that Corbion is producing. At this moment, most of the lactic acid that we are producing in the world is used in food applications and a part in technical applications. There it is bio-based, so we use sugar cane or corn in the US as a feedstock. In our process, via fermentation process, we produce lactic acid. So a lot of process has a low carbon footprint. That's mainly because, of course, the sugar is absorbing a lot of CO2. But in our process, we are emitting CO2 and also in transportation. And the other part is that we are also producing some byproducts like gypsum and biomass, and that is partly the consequence of our current process. You can go to the next slide. So the number here, if you can see, it was 224 kilos of CO2 negative per ton of lactic acid. Now, Corbion is committed to improve our carbon footprint, to look for solutions. And so we try to apply, all kind of green chemistry principles to review our processes, to review impact, to discuss with our customers their applications, try to find better solutions, and in that way, improve, constantly improve. So one of our slogans is also keep creating. Now, this is partly one of the drivers to do. We can go to the next slide. So what we did, we reviewed our current lactic acid process, and at this moment we are building a new lactic acid plant, new technology in Thailand. It's another 125 kiloton plant. I think before it was already mentioned that we have 100 kiloton lactic acid production in Thailand. That is in the meantime by 175 kilotons. That is the current capacity. So we have been keep investing here since the original investment in 2007 till last year. We have been keep investing to current capacity of 175 kilotons. So all in all, we invested 150 million euros more. The new lactic acid plant is about 200 million euro more, and that process is reviewed on impact, and the result is that carbon footprint will be reduced from with another 240 kilos per ton of lactic acid. So you can see that in the top, and we reduce the number of our raw materials significantly by recycling a part in the process, and the byproducts that we are producing, gypsum in the old process, that is also say removed from the process. And then, yeah, all in all, our performance for the environment in that sense will go up a lot. It is highly capacity intensive, so it will be it is financially a challenge, but we believe in it. We have a pilot plant in the Netherlands that has run well, and in a little bit over a year we will start up this plant. So we are now in full production. So we can go to the next slide. Yeah. You can go to the next slide. Oh, sorry. This is PLA. So this is where you can see what the goal is for the PLA. So PLA is oh, sorry, we one slide too far. You go one. Okay, this one, yes. We use sugarcane as our raw material. From the sugarcane, we produce lactic acid. From the lactic acid to PLA. From the PLA, we make our customers have already a wide range of applications. And the beauty about it, especially that it is fully recyclable and compostable. So in that sense, it's closing the cycle and then it can be reused again. If you then in the table on the right compare a carbon footprint of PLA compared to other plastics, and you can see there in the bottom, the blue is the PLA, so that's significantly lower than polystyrene, PET, polypropylene. But you also can see there already PLA targets. That's if the new plant is running, and we can even be carbon footprint neutral. And that's where we put our goal at this moment.
Thank you, Sander. You're an ambassador for your company. Can you round up, please?
Yeah, I'm rounding up. Yeah, and so the last slide is more where we as a company put the bar. I don't know whether there is that we also started to do social value assessments to further see what the impact of our products are in the market, and in that way, initiate new ideas and creativities with our customers to be able to reduce overall impact. So, and that's you can go to the next slide. So that's where we in this way we try to create more initiatives to keep improving our performance as a company. So that's what I would like to contribute.
Thank you, Sander. We will first give the floor to 4 other pitchers, then I come back to you because I want to know, you could have invested in the Netherlands, yet despite all the challenges and barriers, you choose to invest in Thailand and invest again. And of course, we want to know why, what made the difference? Why do you believe so much in Thailand as a location? But that's only after the 4 other pitchers have
that's okay.
made it to the stage. The first online is Luc Rietveld from Harvest Waste. Luc, over to you.
Thank you very much, Freek. And thank you very much, Rick, for setting the scene. I want to talk with you about the residual waste and the openly dumped waste. As you all know, methane is a big problem. Methane is a 25 times more potent greenhouse gas than CO2 is. And it develops when, well, the waste that you see on the images here and the videos is leaking out of landfills. As you may have known or seen, Dutch researchers recently showed that methane is leaking out of landfills globally at a rate 2 times higher than previously assumed. Some of the landfills or actually open dumps are now known as one of the big methane emitters in the world. And if you then know that methane, that landfills emit around 11% of the world's methane, they are relatively low-hanging fruit items that we can address in our fight against climate change. Add to this that we are expected in the world to produce about 70% more waste than we do today. And I want to talk with you about that residual waste and that openly dumped waste that also Thailand still has and the solutions for this. Well, methane is being produced when organic waste decomposes, you think the solution is simple. Take out the organic waste and you'll be able to reduce methane emissions and waste is not a big problem anymore. Well, the problem is with that is that in many mega cities here in Asia, and I live in Manila, the Philippines myself, is that waste is often collected unsegregated, which limits recycling opportunities. Either it's very expensive or residuals or potential recyclables are dirty, and therefore cleaning them trying to recycle them is expensive and it's a big process. Making compost is a relatively low-cost solution, but only if the organic waste is collected separately. And because it's not being done, making compost out of previously mixed waste is quite dangerous. We often see that the organic waste is heavily polluted with heavy metals because people throw batteries and other chemicals in their waste. And microplastics. We know that microplastics are even found in breast milk these days. So we have quite some problems. So what is the solution? The Asian Development Bank, also active in Thailand, says there are several paths towards a circular economy. And all the solutions that have been mentioned by my colleagues before and also my colleagues after me are all good starting points. And we believe we have another starting point based on technology from the Netherlands. So that is advanced waste to energy plants that turn whatever is residual into as much energy as possible, taking care of the bottom ash, and then potentially adding sorting and recycling because the waste is coming there anyway. My company, or our company, Harvest Waste, is a spin out of public waste management company of the city of Amsterdam. We have over 100 years of experience with treating waste in Amsterdam, and we do that very efficiently. In Amsterdam, we have the lowest cost of waste treatment per head of the population. It took us in the Netherlands quite a while to get where we are now, and you need the government to step in. I've listed here, and I will not touch upon all of them, but you need a central government with a vision, and I believe the Thai government does have a good vision. They've committed to stricter NDCs, so that's a great start. But there's a more need to do things. EPR schemes were already mentioned. What we did in the Netherlands, landfill bans and taxes, which worked well. Source segregation helps. Strict emission standards for waste energy plants. I've been able to visit some of the waste energy plants in Thailand. They're good, but to make a big impact, more and stricter emission standards may be needed. And do not build too much waste to energy capacity. That's also a good learning from the Netherlands. We definitely should not incinerate all, but at this moment, it's not technically and economically feasible yet to recycle all of our waste. But we do need to reduce methane emissions fast. So it is a potential solution. The combined efforts of the Dutch have made a big impact on emissions from waste management. As you can see, the combined efforts since the early 1990s in the Netherlands led to a reduction of 80% in methane emissions from waste management. And that can be achieved in other countries as well. But you need combined effort of the government and the private sector. So what do we bring? Our company Harvest Waste brings the most efficient waste to energy technology based on moving grade incineration to the rest of the world. So we want to go from residual waste ending up on landfills to waste energy plants which recover as much electricity as possible, reducing methane emissions, producing baseload power, and providing stable jobs. We do that based on the technology developed by the city of Amsterdam, which is qualified as beyond best available technology in the EU. And in Amsterdam, of course, we have a slightly different waste composition, but there we produce about 62 megawatts from 1,500 tons of waste, which is still the most efficient large-scale waste incineration technology in the world. If you're interested, yes, I'll wrap up. If you're interested, we're happy to talk and how we can bring this solution to Thailand. Thanks, Freek.
Thank you, Luc. It's a pleasure. And of course, the purists in the circular economy will say, well, waste to energy should not be the preferential method. We should make materials and we should recycle. But as long as we make products which are not designed for recycling, energy for a long time will still be a very good answer. So thank you very much for that. We move on to Mr. Jeremy Timmer. We last saw each other in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. So it's a pleasure to have you here in the region again, Jeremy. The floor is yours.
Yeah, thank you, Freek. So yes, I'm Jeremy Timmer, based in Kuala Lumpur. I'm the founder and owner of Infinergy, a producer of renewable energy commodities from organic waste. We can go to the next slide, please. More than half of our waste is organic, which is contributing to greenhouse gas concentrations to levels we've never seen in more than 1 million years. We are here to transform organic waste into profit and start solving a waste, energy, and climate crisis. The chart here on this slide shows the atmospheric CO2 concentration, which was in equilibrium for the last million years. And the chart is completely out of whack. And this is our mission together to contribute to restore this equilibrium. Our solution is to take the natural processes of Mother Nature, which we optimize and maximize. So we add value to waste streams in country to produce renewable gas or bio-LNG for domestic use or export. So with our partners Host, we have over 3 decades of experience and have the entire technology portfolio under one roof. We are investing up to 100% in our own technology, construct, operate, and run the business ourselves and buying organic waste. Next slide, please. The palm oil industry has been selected because of the abundantly available clean and consistent organic waste. Malaysia in particular, because it's the number 2 of the global on the globe of the palm oil producers and relatively well developed. Indonesia is number 1 and well aware that Thailand is number 3. The photos on this slide are showing an actual site between Kuala Lumpur and Singapore in Malaysia, where they process about 1,100 metric tons of empty fruit bunches per day. So that's about 60 trucks. And they convert this into crude palm oil, fibers, electricity, and about 7 cubes per day of wastewater with organic solids are produced. So under ideal conditions, the organic waste from the wastewater is fully converted into biogas, captured and flared. However, at this site, wastewater is discharged into ponds, as depicted on the photos on the next slide, resulting that all biogas is emitted to the atmosphere. So as you can see on the pictures, the color of the water in the ponds is dark brown/black, and it contains lots of organic matter, which is being accumulated, resulting in that the ponds are overflowing from time to time in case of heavy rain, but also during the operations. So we are currently in negotiation to fix the water treatment. And our plan is a phase development in which we entirely fund phase 1, 2, and 3. So the existing biogas, full biogas, and the EFB pilot. And the biogas will be upgraded into bio-LNG, which we intend to sell to Singapore and perhaps later for export to Europe or to the Netherlands. And LNG, or liquefied natural gas, has been selected as the output fuel because of proven technology and the high energy density, and that a liquid is suitable for transport. So phase 1, 2, and 3 are required for our eventual EFB to LNG module concept, which is actually a standardized system of building blocks of proven technology, which we are currently designing with our partners Host. And after a successful deployment of this module, we will replicate this and fabricate this in country or in this region, and add other types of wet organic waste like manure, food waste, agricultural waste, sewage waste, etc. The amount of biomethane produced is equivalent to the gas consumption of about 8,000 residential homes in the Netherlands of one module, and reduces CO2 emissions of about 40,000 cars equivalent, again, per module. And eventually, at only this site, we can collect up to 5,000 metric tons a day of EFB. So that means that there is room for about 10 modules at this site. Next slide, please. The potential in Asia is huge, as there are many untapped organic waste streams available in and beyond the palm oil industry. In this case, this is the global palm oil center, so Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand. And as you can see, these are the exact locations represented by the palm oil mills and the gas pipeline. And to give an indication on the amount of global palm oil waste generated, so about 15% of the total global amount of municipal solid waste generated by 8 billion people. So the amount of palm oil waste is about 15% of that. So that's staggering. This requires a holistic approach to solve the issue, and is favorable to mix different types of organic waste. For example, mixing manure with EFB to optimize the anaerobic digestion process for more output. And it is therefore important, to map all waste streams and collaborate with other complementary companies to provide a total solution. And then the next slide, please, my last slide. So we are currently developing a circular alliance, and the following companies have agreed to join. And regarding city waste, more than 50% is organic, and a significant part is end-of-life plastics. So for our technology, these plastics are undesired, but harvest waste is more than happy to receive these plastics, and vice versa. Furthermore, we are able to digest a large fraction of the organic waste, but in case of the empty fruit bunches, a significant part of the woody fibrous part, 20 to 40%, is hard to digest with current proven technology. So this fraction is ideally suited for companies like Factoro to convert this into liquid marine fuels. Then finally, the clean organic fractions are valuable and should remain in the food chain and can be converted into protein for animal feed. So it's most important to start closing the loops with each company designated to its specific position on the loop as presented in this slide. And thank you for your attention, and happy to answer your questions.
Thank you, Jeremy. Very interesting to see that you focus really on the poem. I think this is definitely a clear business opportunity. And what's also clear from this this last slide is circular economy is not only about technological solutions, it's also about new collaborations, new partnerships that you have to create to have a total solution, because it's not something anybody can do alone. We quickly move on to our next speaker, and I want to double check if Savita is with us. Ms. Savita Tinsung Isok. Yes, you are.
Yes.
The floor is yours. I didn't see you on the screen, but so happy you're there.
It's okay. So, Sawadee ka. Good morning and good afternoon for everyone. I will be very short as much as possible. So, I'm the secretary of the WIDA. WIDA is the Waste to Energy Trade Association. We are the group of the private companies who has a very a lot of members from everyone in the industries, including like the power plant owner, the technology provider, academians, and we are our committees also the members of the Renewable Energy Industry Club of the Federation of Thai Industries. What we are doing is we are helping everyone to be on the track of the waste to energy. So next slide, please. Here is our objectives. As the details of a circular economy and everything you have heard from our other speakers. So in here, I would focusing on how can we help you. So our WIDA, we have the good relationship with the government agencies so that we also voice our opinion as we are the private sectors, and we also support the government programs such as the BCG program or SCG. And now we are moving forward to the carbon credit program that the government is interested in it. So next, please. Here is the Thailand Power Development Plan. But in Thailand, we have the plan especially for the renewable energy, which we call the AEDP, which is stand for Alternative Energy Development Plan. But this one is I'm bringing just only the updated one and focusing on the renewable energy. As you can see that the most renewable energy that would in the eye of the government is solar. However, in the terms of waste to energy, biogas and biomass, we still have some supports that the government also do. And for the biogas from the factory, the government now are giving less and less support, as the government found that if you are the factories, the waste that comes out, it could be the kind of the input for the other industry. So they're trying to giving less and less support for the biogas from the factory. However, for the waste to energy, either like municipal solid waste or industrial waste, we still get the better FIT program, which around like 18 euro cents. So here is the overview of our PTP plan. And next, please. Here is the biogas in terms of the government that what biogas that are in Thailand now and the biofuel that we use to do it. So this one, I just give you the idea. And the last one. So if you need like information about waste in Thailand, or you looking for the partner to distribute your technology in Thailand, so please feel free to contact us, because in Thailand, we welcome the new and advanced technology from Netherlands. So thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. And now I'm addressing the Dutch participants here. Compared to the atmosphere in the Netherlands towards, let's say, renewable energy from biomass, I would say the temperature is much better in Thailand. They're more open for both renewable energy and also biofuel solutions. So definitely something to explore further. Thank you so much. We move on to our last but not least speaker, Ms. Ling from the Biomat and the BioHub Asia. Please enlighten us.
Good morning, good afternoon, everyone. So first of all, may I express my gratitude to NTCC and the Embassy of the Netherlands, and of course, Holland, Circular Hotspot, for inviting us here to share our journey of BioHub Asia and Biomat Link. So BioHub Asia is, we consider is the first vertical co-creation estate in BCG in Thailand and Southeast Asia. And at the same time, the Biomat Link, it's what we call the supply chain management platform from farm to factories. So here with us today, Ms. Chanika Chintanapan, the lady on the slide. She's the CEO and founder of BioHub Asia and Biomat Link, who drives her passionate commitment to sustainable world. So our mission is to leverage countries' bioresources with optimal cost and zero pollution to sustainably serve Thailand and the world. Next slide, please. All right, let's start with the Biomat Link. So we have seen the problems of farmers who have been dedicated their lives to boost their productivity, but they have to invest a lot of high production costs and get not fair pricing from the middlemen. At the same time, the factory users, they have to find a way to get good quantity and quality raw materials and supplies from the farms, so them can be more competitive and productive at the same time. But then these two sides are not in balance. So what Biomat Link has done is to be the platform to connect the farmers to the factories. So Biomat Link was initiated to help farmers and factories bypass middlemen and directly make the transaction. So we implement this platform on behalf of the creating share value concept, and as well as ESG concept and framework to tackle environmental, social, and governance framework. Next slide, please. The second component that we have in this scope of services, we have Biomat Link to connect from upstream to downstream. We also have initiated the Biomat Growth, which is another component to help farmers with service providers. In many cases, farmers cannot access to good services. So we bring them the nice services that farmers can brought up and also use it in a comprehensive way with very good price. So some of the examples of services that we provide in Biomat Growth is machineries, drones, quality assurance, and also logistics. Since 2019, Biomat Link has its value trade more than 25 million USD with the current 4,000 contract farmers, 20 farm tractors, 20 drones, and more than 1,000 farmer trucks and trailer trucks, together with 5 bio factories. Next slide, please. And altogether, we have brought out the services that not only to provide for factories in terms of platform, but we think that the country and the world needs the specific infrastructure of facilities to support the BCG model. So we decide and fully integrated the smart eco agro hub in Chachoengsao province, a little bit eastern of Thailand. It's called BioHub Asia. So this estate is consisting of 54 bio-related factories, including biochemicals, biorefinery, biogas energy, future food, naturally extracted pharmaceuticals and cosmetics, medicine and health, as well as the research and development center for innovation. So this estate is eligible for a corporate income tax break for up to 8 years and several other tax and non-tax incentives. Next slide, please. So we have planned to kick out our first phase as shown in this slide. So we strongly implemented the circular concept to ensure that BioHub Asia will be an economic system of closed loops in which raw materials, components, products lose their value as little as possible. Renewable energy resources are used, and system thinking is also implemented at the core. So circular economy concept of BioHub Asia is carried out with the cooperation from various partners joining forces together to create a sustainable future altogether. For example, on your right-hand side, can you click one more time, please? You see the highlight. Oh, sorry. So then on your right-hand side, let me point out the cursor at the cannabis greenhouse and extraction facilities. We have 2 Dutch companies support us in building up these facilities using their cutting-edge technologies. The companies are called Priva and Van der Hoeven. So they bring in their technologies, and this will prove the 2 countries' collaboration, not only to endorse the corporate competitiveness, but also to strengthen commercial viability of the ecosystem. So that's pretty much what BioHub Asia and BioMedLink have proposed to all of us here, and would like to look for more strategic partnership. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lin. Very interesting to know. This is really the BioHub size that matters, that's scalable, and very happy to see also that Dutch companies are already involved. And hubs in general, they have not only expertise, but they also act as a catalyst to change, a transition broker, value chain connectors, trusted partners. I think that's a very good initiative, and that's a function we actually need. So I hope people in this webinar will know how to find you. That will lead to more collaboration. It's now time. We are actually at the end of our webinar, but maybe we go 5 minutes longer if everybody allows. And I invite everybody to ask questions in the Q&A. The first question I promised was for Sander. And for Sander, the question was basically, why did you choose for Thailand? You could have invested in the Netherlands, a living lab, but despite the barriers, you went to Thailand.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, say it was also a tough competition in that sense, and more in a healthy way between the different sites. But at the end, the decision was made for Thailand. First, very important, availability of the raw materials. So we need, in Thailand we use sugar. In Europe we would use probably another dextrose stream, but in Thailand the availability of sugar is very good, and I think easier than in Europe. That's one. And the second is that the Thai staff of the Thai location here has a very good reputation for starting up new plants. So they're very eager to learn. They're very dedicated. So yeah, staff makes that a difference. And so that's from knowledge, but also from attitude to safety. That's maybe a surprise for a lot of you, but the Thai site here has also very good, or one of the best safety performers in the world for Corbion. So yeah, then the decision at the end was made to do it in Thailand. Yeah. So
good to hear.
But financially, it was very close. It has all pros and cons because we transport now a little bit more to Europe for the time being. But let's see. let's see where we build the next PLA plant. Huh?
You keep on expanding. Very good. I turn to Rick Passanier. Rick, you have listened to all these pictures. What's your reflection when you hear this? If you think about the opportunities you showed us, can you reflect on the pictures?
Yeah, I think I'm really excited. I think what I mentioned also in my presentation is that we see both corporate players, governmental institutes, R&D institute, as well as bottom-up startups really committed and embracing the BCG economy, which of course in the Netherlands is also similar. And I think this especially provides a lot of potential for synergy between governments, corporates and startups across Netherlands and Thailand to really make this a success and also scale up and find complementary technologies and solutions that can really drive the full ecosystem transition going forward. And that's really important in this circular economy.
Thank you so much, Rick. I go to a question for Luc and Jeremy, same question. We're almost at the end of this webinar. What would you like, after having listened to all these people, as a next contact, as a next partner? What would help you most from the people in the audience? Luc, first to you.
Someone who wishes to co-develop a waste-to-energy plant for residual waste near a large location together in Thailand, whether through a tender or an unsolicited proposal.
That would be around one of the major cities, probably?
Yes, because that's where most of the waste generation is and where probably most of the untreated waste still ends up currently.
Correct. Jeremy, for you emphasized the POEM challenge, which we still have, but also especially the opportunity. What would help you most?
So we are looking for reliable partners who can supply the waste, the organic waste, preferably as a start, focusing on biogas, currently produced, being flared or not even captured, where we can help. But the focus is on reliable partners who can supply the organic waste. We can do the entire investment and supply the technology and run the business in a joint venture, but we need reliable partners.
Okay, thank you very much. I have a question I see popping up for the BioHub Asia. So you aim to leverage the country's bioresources with optimal cost and zero pollution to sustainably serve Thailand and the world. What would be your plan to accelerate it through global partnerships?
All right, thank you, Freek, and thank you for the question. We actually welcome and open for many types of partnerships, ranging from technology provider, the manufacturing in the BCG economy, and also investor. Because we think at this moment of time, we cannot walk alone. So how we bring up the global partnerships to help leverage the bioresources that we have together with the technologies or maybe resources that you have would bring up the most beneficial values to the world.
Thank you so much for that answer. And indeed, global partnerships can make a difference and we need each other. We only have a future if Thailand has a future and vice versa. So let's team up.
Sure.
Savita, what is your reflection? Savita or Saga, what's your reflection on this webinar? What would you like to see coming out of this webinar and your, let's say, in terms of partnership or investments or collaboration?
This is a very good webinar. So I think that from presentation, I'm sure that everyone would like to contact some of our speakers, at least myself. So let me contact him later on. And then if you need like information about waste to energy in Thai, so please thinking of our Vida. Thank you.
We will. Thank you so much for having joined up. We are at the end of our webinar, unfortunately. I think we have a closing slide. Thanks to all the speakers and panelists. You've been wonderful. Thanks for all the, let's say, the questions from the audience. We will share the presentations with you, which we are allowed to share with pleasure. If you have any unanswered questions, just contact us. We contact the speakers. We will be the intermediate. If you want to know more and a summary of circular opportunities we have identified in Thailand, do go to our webpage. It's access for everybody. we sum up opportunities we have seen in the bioeconomy, but also other opportunities. So do visit us, let us know what you think of it. And for now, thank you for your attention. Have a nice day and keep in touch. We hope to be seeing you next year again. Thank you and bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Freek, for organizing.
Thanks, Freek.
Bye-bye.